Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are here. And we are coming back into the phase of Jussie Smollett. That is all of the things that we know that have went down with the accusations, the charges, and the subsequent incarceration of the 5-month stint that really just shook all of the world in regards to the allegations that turned into a twist of fate for Jussie Smollett. Now, Jussie is apparently speaking out, as you may know, and I've actually done some videos that are on the platform about this, so you can get more details on that if you would like a refresher. Make sure you check them out. But Jussie Smollett apparently is come to reaching a civil lawsuit settlement with the city of Chicago in regards to charges associated with what was deemed to be a hoax of great proportion. That is one that a lot of people were pretty shocked about, considering this gentleman was a really, top actor at this point on a top-rated show, and we really were enjoying everything, minding our own business. And then all of a sudden, this situation comes at way where he shares he was attacked, and 2 men were part of that. And so a lot of that stuff came out to be, well, the result is apparently that didn't go as he said it did, right? So with that, we're going to go into this sharing here because he's speaking out. It has been the first in quite some time. And let's see what he's talking about in regards to this civil lawsuit. So yeah, let's go ahead and check in with Jussie Smollett. All right, so this sharing is coming to us by way of ABC News. It says, Jussie Smollett speaks out after reaching civil settlement with City of Chicago. He addressed the resolution in a public statement shared Friday on an Instagram post that he just did. Actor Jussie Smollett is speaking out after reaching a settlement with the City of Chicago in a civil case related to the city's efforts to recover costs from its investigation into a 2019 incident that authorities claim was a staged hate crime. Smollett has always maintained he is innocent. Now, Smollett addressed the resolution in a public statement shared Friday on Instagram. He says, over 6 years ago, after it was reported I had been jumped, city officials in Chicago set out to convince the public that I willfully set an assault against myself. This false narrative has left a stain on my character that will not soon disappear, he wrote. He added, these officials wanted my money and wanted my confession for something I did not do. Today, it should be clear that they have received neither. Smollett said his decision to settle was not the most difficult one to make, explaining, I was presented with an opportunity to make a charitable donation in exchange for the case being dismissed. Calling Chicago his former home, he noted making donations to benefit Chicago communities that are too often neglected by those in power will always be something I support. Smollett also announced a separate $10,000 donation to the Chicago Torture Justice Center, writing, to anyone who has had to prove they have in fact been violated, you know how difficult this can be to navigate. I stand with and for you. Now, in March of 2019, Smollett forfeited his $10,000 bond to the city and agreed to perform 16 hours of community service as part of a separate agreement to drop all criminal charges related to the alleged false report, according to then Cook County First Assistant State Attorney Joe Maggots. The city filed a lawsuit in 2019, though, over $130,000, which the Chicago Police Department said it had spent investigating the actor's claims they had been attacked in a racially and politically motivated incident. Now, in November 2019, Smollett filed a counter lawsuit against the city of Chicago, claiming that authorities maliciously prosecuted him in bad faith and filed criminal charges against him without probable cause. Now, the counter lawsuit was filed in response to a lawsuit the city filed against Smollett in April, requesting $130,000 in civil penalties, damages, and attorney's fees and costs arising from Smollett's alleged false statements. Now, 2 brothers, Ambola and Olbagino Osarandara, that's a mouthful, later claimed that Smollett paid them $3,500 to help him orchestrate and stage the crime after Smollett allegedly became upset that a letter threatening him sent to the Fox studio where the television series Empire was filmed did not get enough attention, according to police. Now, police later accused Smollett of writing the letter, and the brothers were not charged. As part of the new settlement agreement, Smollett will donate $50,000 to a building Brighter Futures Center for the Arts, a local nonprofit serving underprivileged youth in Chicago through arts and education programming. The donation was made in exchange for the dismissal of the city's lawsuit against Smollett, according to a statement released Thursday by the city's Department of Law. In an official statement, the department said the city believes the settlement provides a fair, constructive, and conclusive resolution, allowing all the parties to close the 6-year-old chapter and move forward. Well, my goodness, if he wanted to just donate, he could have just did that, right? So I am curious to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that Jussie Smollett is, well, not guilty of all the things that has been alleged that he was in part apparently claimed to have orchestrated this so-called incident? I'd love to know your thoughts. I think a lot of people right off the bat had felt that, yes, of course, if he said it, why would he lie about that? So of course he was, innocent of that. And then things started to turn, the table started to turn, and then witnesses started to come out. Reportedly, the two individuals that were said to potentially have been the ones that could have caused this attack, there was camera footage and all that kind of stuff. There was a whole lot of hoopla and circus going on in the courts during the sentencing. I believe he had gotten 5 months for it because, they went through, got the process started with the initial, it seemed like it was a backed out situation, and then charges came back later on, something to that extent. And whether he did the full time or not, I don't really know. I think he did go in for a little bit, came back out. I mean, it was just a whole debacle, a whole mess. But through it all, Jussie says, hey, he's innocent. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that. So definitely leave them respectfully in the comment section below. But now that the settlement is here, and it looks like the money is going to a good cause, which is a great positive outcome to this debacle. That is a situation that should have never happened, whether implied and created or happened just as he says it did. But at this point, I do hope that this is a closed chapter for this situation so he can begin to move forward and move on. I don't know how much this has hurt his career. I haven't really seen him in anything. If you have, feel free to share it down below. But it definitely seemed to, deter things in the very beginning for sure. But of course, like he says, the situation has let a stain on him that no sooner will be lifted. And yeah, I mean, look, society is not very forgiving, are they? So with that being said, it looks like, he's going to probably still be dealing with this on some level. Now, whether he'll be filled to be entrusted to, carry movies or shows or anything like that, or even resurrect the singing career, will be, I guess, remain to be seen. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm hoping that for this will be a situation where he can now put this behind him and he can move forward and not have to come back to address this anymore. I'm pretty sure it's like coming back to the scene of the crime, no pun intended, each and every time that he has to talk about it or that it's brought up. I'm pretty sure that Chicago would like to move on from the situation as well, as I'm pretty sure they got a lot of other things they could be dealing with and working on and working through. And this right here is something that needs to remain in the past and to never be maybe brought up ever again. So with that, definitely would love to know your thoughts. And I think that will about do it for this video. So definitely make sure that you do keep your own notification bells on, because I will be popping up with another video later on this evening. So I definitely want to know your thoughts on that. So you come on back and let me know. All right. And with that, definitely, if you are new here and you have not hit that subscribe button, I hope that you will and be part of the family. I would so love to have you. And thank you so much for all of you who are already part of the family for your continued viewing and listening support. Truly means the world to me, and I thank you so much for it. So with that, again, I'm going to bid you adieu. I will be back later on, so come back and check out what we got cooking later. And until then, see ya. Bye.